Hello, you're watching News Beat. I am Adewale Olashopo. We start off the news today with the protest organized by the Nigeria Labour Congress. In solidarity with Nigerians over the demand for the immediate reversal of the electricity tariff hike across the country, the organized Labour, led by its national president, Joe Ajaero, occupied the national headquarters of the Ministry of Power in Maitama, Abuja, earlier yesterday. While expressing their concerns on the plight of Nigerians and the adverse effects of the electricity hike. Members of the organized Labour spoke exclusively with our correspondent who was there to monitor the protest. Meanwhile, the federal government will next week hold a crucial meeting to address the demands by the organized Labour.
The Labour today are requesting the President, the Minister of Power and the NEC to come into agreement. You can't just wake up one day and just increase tariff and you want people to just take it the way it is. That is the struggle today.
You notice during our May Day presentation we gave them 1 week, and by the expiration of that ultimatum, that is why we have taken action. And I'm sure at the end of today, like we heard the permanent secretary say that by next week they are going to meet and then take a critical decision that will that will be in the best interest of Nigerians, and that is what we want. You can give 7 days, you can give 21 days, but the most important thing is that we will not stop in our house until that tariff is revised and until Nigerians are engaged, as a democratic republic. I said very boldly that Nigeria is not a generator republic, and by virtue of that, that we are very concerned. We cannot pay for the light that has not existed. We cannot pay and continue to pay on estimated billing. Enough is enough.
What we are doing is not strange. There is no Nigerian today who is using electricity that does not know that there's an increase in tariff, astronomical increase in tariff for over 250%. Reverse the tariff now. That is our major objective.
Now to other news, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, held a one-day consultative meeting with political parties in Abuja to disclose the state of preparedness for the forthcoming elections in the country. The chairman of the commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, used the opportunity to read out stipulated guidelines for the September and November governorship and state assembly elections in Ondo and Edo State respectively, and called on all political parties to abide by the stipulated guidelines. Our correspondent was there and she filed in this report.
Amidst widespread of political tension went in the air as the Ondo and Edo elections draw near, the electoral umpire INEC feels compelled to alienate the fears of the electorate by organizing an urgent meeting with all political parties across the country in Abuja. The one-day closeout forum with political parties is to sensitize political parties on the electoral guidelines for the forthcoming elections and to re-emphasize the need for fairness in the game. The national chairman of the commission, Professor Mahmood Yakub, seized the opportunity also to read out voters' registration processes and reiterate INEC's position in the elections.
Turning to Ondo State, political parties have just concluded their primaries. 18 political parties conducted primaries monitored by the Commission. I wish to remind you that parties have 1 week to the deadline for the nomination of candidates, with the deadline is 6 p.m. on Monday, 20th May 2024, when the portal will automatically shut down. I urge you to adhere strictly to the deadline. Political parties have been given 23 days, over 3 weeks, from the end of primaries to prepare and submit the list of only 2 candidates, governorship candidate and running mate, to the Commission. There will be no extension of time. As the election in the 2 states approach, the Commission has decided to resume the continuous voter registration in the 2 states to enable eligible citizens who are not registered as voters to do so. Similarly, those who are registered voters also have the opportunity to transfer their registration from other states of the Federation to Edo and Ondo states, or from one location to another within the two states. Let me reiterate that the CBR is only open to new registrants and those who seek transfer of their registration. Persons who are registered as voters should not attempt to register again, as double or multiple registration is illegal. Lost or damaged voters' cards will be replaced during the exercise, but this does not require fresh registration. The CBR in Edo and Ondo states will take place simultaneously from Monday, 27th May 2024 to Wednesday, 5th June 2024.
Now to other news. The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, organized a one-day policy dialogue forum on reducing the cost of governance in Nigeria. The event was attended by lawmakers, policymakers, as well as stakeholders in the growth and development of Nigeria. While speaking to newsmen, the DG of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Professor Sulaiman Abubakar, said the dialogue will provide an opportunity to holistically re-evaluate the approach to governance and the viability of the parliamentary system as a cost-effective alternative to the current presidential system of governance. Our political correspondent, Mercy Pan, joins us with the stakeholders dialogue report.
Politics, they say, is the allocation of wealth and resources by authorities of a state. However, many states still grapple with the reality of inequitable distribution of wealth. Nigeria, a typical example. In line with Harold Laswell's popular definition of politics as who gets what, when, and how, and in a bid to propose solutions to the lopsided management of Nigerians' resources, the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, organizes a one-day dialogue forum on the need to reduce the cost of governance. In attendance is the Senate President, represented by Senator Jaribi, Ekom Jaribi, Professor Pat Otsumi, Dr. Obi Ekwesili, amongst other lawmakers, policymakers, as well as stockholders working towards the growth and development of Nigeria. The DG of NILDS spoke to journalists on the motive behind the epoch dialogue, and Professor Pat Otsumi and other panelists outlined strategies for moving the country forward.
Just to contribute to the ongoing conversation, government policies or initiative, let me say, in looking at the cost of governance, especially the one that has to do with operational aspect of governance, talking about overhead, talking about the personnel cost, what you call recurrence. Over the years, we observe that when the budget is then made, we have two components of budget. We have the capital, we have the recurrence. We observe that a huge amount of those funds have been expended on recurrence, overhead. Things like vehicles, training, wages, here and there. And the federal government thought we can't continue as a country like this. We cannot grow as a country like this. We had the Orosanye report that was put in place by the united governments. And since that report was submitted, recommendations provided, no government has come to really put its political will on ground to implement. And it becoming a recurring issue, becoming a worrisome development, where you spend trillions on such overhead, on such cost of governance is not something we can keep on grappling with. Something drastic needs to be done. We need to cut down cost of governance. Our own is just a scholarly contribution.
It is a collective owned by everybody. And those people who own it, some of them can't eat 2 meals a day. If you spend what belongs to them so recklessly for your own comfort, if your morality is right, believe that something will come back to haunt you. And this is the challenge that our country needs to deal with.
We have to ensure that our government operates efficiently and effectively, serving the needs of the people and fostering sustainable development. We must streamline our bureaucracy, eliminate unnecessary expenditures, and ensure transparency and accountability at all levels of governance. We must invest our human capital, empowering our public officials with the necessary skills and knowledge to drive progress. And we must foster a culture of innovation and creativity, where new ideas can flourish and transform our nation. While we commit ourselves to ridding our nation of the little foxes that eat up our economy, we must also commit ourselves to expanding the economic pie.
And now to international news. The United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken has promised Ukraine that aid that will make a real difference on the battlefield is on the way. Blinken arrived in Kyiv on a surprise diplomatic visit on Tuesday, designed to underline the support of the United States. Political wrangling in Washington held up a military aid package that was finally approved in April. In the meantime, Russia has pushed to take advantage, launching huge barrages of missiles and opening a new front line in the northeastern Kharkiv region. The trip, led by Secretary Blinken, is the first by senior U.S. officials since the $61 billion support was approved. Blinken met with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and promised the U.S. aid would make a real difference against the Russian aggression on the battlefield. Now to entertainment news. American musician and songwriter Stevie Wonder has officially been granted Ghanaian citizenship status by President Nana Akufo-Addo on Monday. Mr. Wonder, who is in Ghana with his family, will hold both his American citizenship and that of Ghana. At a brief ceremony at the Jubilee House, the renowned singer expressed delight at the honor done to him. Lastly, on sport news, Flamingo's head coach Bankola Oluwokere is confident his side will make up for their first leg 1-1 draw in Bamako and beat Burkina Faso when both sides meet in the second leg of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup third round qualifying fixture in Abuja on Saturday. The FIFA World Cup bronze medalist could only convert one of their numerous chances and were made to pay for it after the hosts scored a late goal to restore parity. That's all on Newsbeat. I am Adewale Olashopo. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms to stay up to date with the news. Bye for now.